So, 2021, huh?
Dumb cracker bitch.
Hi, welcome back to the Virgin Chronicles. I'm your host, a guy who used to be attractive but then got a mullet. Music in 2021. Was it good? Was it bad? You're about to find out. That's why this is what the video is talking about. Guys, for the first time ever in the over a year this channel has been running, I'm sitting in front of you today with no video script. All I have is a notes pad that has just a list of all the albums and all the awards I'm going to give tonight, and I'm terrified. So, wish me luck. If this goes terribly, it's a testament to how bad my writing is, and if it goes well, it's probably a testament to how bad my writing is. Anyways, this is usually the part of the video where a music reviewer will be like, oh, 2021 was a pretty good year for music, and they'll give like a breakdown, but I'm not going to give you that. You lived through this here. You know whether or not the music was good. This is just my opinion that I'm about to spew at you. And yeah, so this is how the video is going to work. The first part of this video is just going to be me giving out specific awards to tracks that I really liked, that I think deserved it, because there's a lot of music came out this year, and I think that there are a lot of songs that I want to mention and just talk about briefly that aren't going to be mentioned later in the video. So we have a brief section of just songs, then I'm going to tell you my top 5 worst albums of the year, then my top 10 favorite, and then after that I got a little segment together of a bunch of creators just to briefly talk about their favorite albums, because obviously you're here for my opinion and what I think, but you know, I'm here to talk about music. I love talking about music, and I think that having a space where you can hear all of the creators that are in my little creative bubble and in my community talk about the albums that they love, I think it's a really cool idea, so stick around for that. So yeah, sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and let's just sit down and have a no-pressure conversation about the things that I loved about the music that came out this year. Okay, first, for my little award ceremony that I'm putting together here, we have the individual track section. So the first award I want to give out goes to the best great song from a good album, and that goes to Snow Day by Shame. Look, I'm going to be straight up. Drunk Tank Pink by Shame is not a bad album, but it is one of the most disappointing listens of this year, just because I remember waking up and getting these notifications on Discord being like, oh my god, this is fucking like, this album's nuts, you're not going to believe this, album of the year. And then I heard it and I was just like, However, out of the ashes of my disappointment grew a love for the song Snow Day. It is just everything that I love about what's happening in Britain right now with the post-punk scene. I'm talking crazy guitars, I'm talking crazy drums, I'm talking vocalist who sounds like he's talking half the time but then like goes nuts. Like the vocalist took a lot of inspiration from Slint. You can hear it because he does a lot of like the spoken word stuff at first, and then he goes into like the yelling. Like I'll put the track up because I can't remember what it is now, but there's one song off of Spiderland by Slint that this reminds me a lot of. Which is a huge compliment because that album fucks. I also love how many just great moments this song has. I feel like the entirety of the song is just a build-up of all these great moments, and it just never lets go of you. It just holds you and you feel it, and it's gritty and grimy, and I love it for it. I really do. Okay, that's it for our first award. The next one for Best Feature goes to Folie à Deux featuring Westside Gunn. I think that's how you say it. If not, I'm not French, or Italian, or whatever that is. Probably French. Okay, if you took all of the beats from Pray for Haiti and then had Westside Gunn rap over them, I feel like I would have liked this more. Not to say that I didn't like it, because Pray for Haiti is a great album, but I am a massive Westside Gunn fan, and all of the beats on this thing just fit his tone and the way that his voice sounds perfectly. Can I relate to Westside Gunn in literally any song he's ever made? Probably not. Do I feel like I'm in The Sopranos when I walk across campus listening to Folie à Deux on full blast? I feel like that question answers itself. This is a great track. It makes you feel like $1,000,000 every time you hear it, and The Alchemist literally killed it on this beat. This is one of my favorite beats from the whole album. It's just phenomenal. This whole track is a masterpiece, and look, credit where credit's due, Matt Homie killed his verse in this as well, so great song. Okay, so moving on, we have the most fun track, and that award goes to, drumroll please, Family Ties featuring Kendrick Lamar. I feel like it's no surprise that a Baby Keem song won this award, because he's just fun. He's a fun rapper to listen to, and he brings out aspects of Kendrick Lamar that I've never heard before, like these fun, playful quips. I love it. And I know that a couple of people are going to be like, well, why didn't he put Range Brothers? And that's because Range Brothers just meant to me. I'm not the biggest fan. I think that the second half of it, like the top of the moment, that whole bit is way better than the entirety of the first half. But in this case, I feel like Baby Keem and Kendrick's part like hold their own together, and it's how well they work together that makes this song. And it's just got bars, man. It's just got bars. Like, what else do you want me to say? The bars, it's got it. And just like the last song, the beat on this I love it. It's fun. I don't know how else to say it. It's a fun song to listen to. I really enjoy it. So there you have it. My favorite song of 2021, Family Ties by Baby Keem, featuring Kendrick Lamar. Now we have to do a full 180, because we're talking about the most depressing song of the year. And when I give this award, I mean it as a very, very, very high compliment. Don't make me think this means depressing as in like underrated. I'm not underrated. Depressing as in bad, or as in like makes me feel like shit. I mean it as in it's the best sad song to have come out. I also had a very hard time keeping this one a secret. So happy late Christmas present to Jake Joseph, who won my pick for the most depressing song, the best depressing song of 2021, with his track Armor. I love this thing. I loved it. It was my favorite off of his album Super Jail from the second that I heard it. Fucking great track. This is on repeat on the Pain playlist. If you know, you know. I just love everything about this song. It's great. I think that Jake, who is probably watching this, at least I hope he is, he better be since I'm giving him all the screen time. If you continue making music in this vein, you will be very successful. And I mean that. I mean that in the best way possible. And you know what? You always do doubt your vocals. I know you do. The way you know how good your voice is singing wise, but it sounds great here. If there are weaknesses on this thing, it's not coming through, at least to me. So great job. Congratulations on your award. But also, fuck you. I'm the better podcast host. And just like that, the song section's over. Okay, I wanted to have this section just because these 4 songs have had such an impact on my year. I listen to them so often, and I would feel stupid if I didn't even mention them at all. So I just made these little custom awards. I thought that'd be a fun idea. But we have one more. We have one more award to give, but I'm waiting until we talk about the album it's connected to, because it is in my top 10. Because that award is the best song of 2021. But I don't want to spoil it. I want to wait, because this is ranking pretty high on my list. So without further ado, we talk about the goods. Now we're doing the bottom 5 albums, the worst of the worst of this year. So look, I threw in a couple of EPs in both the worst and the best albums of the year section. It's my list. I make the rules. Go make your own fucking list if that makes you upset. It's just the way it is. With that out of the way, number 5, the 5th worst album of 2021, goes to Lil Mariko, self-titled. Guys, Lil Mariko is horny, and she is not afraid to tell you about it, because holy shit, this is just track after track of being like, yeah, I'm horny. No, just very limited substance on this thing. Not to say that you need substance to make a good album or a good song, but just what's being talked about here is not something that I enjoy. You know, I have nothing against, people talking about their sexual activities, things like that. I'm not one of those like Ben Shapiro types that's like, oh yeah, WAP is ruining our country. No, it's not. It's not, but this isn't something that I would put on, let alone want to put on, or even hear again. I hate it. I'm gonna be honest. I hate it. The only thing that saves this from being even higher on the list is that the production has some moments where I'm like, this isn't unbearable, but for the most part, this seems like it's not centered to me at all. Like, this is not something that they made for me to enjoy. So look, don't let this steer you away from listening to this. If this is something you seem interested in, then be my guest. This might be your thing. I know a lot of people that like this album or this EP, but I didn't. So bottom 5, baby. Next on the list, number 4, my 4th most hated album of the year, The Revenge of Hobo Johnson by Hobo Johnson. I know that some people are going to be surprised that I don't have Hobo Johnson Alienates His Fanbase on this list. but I didn't listen to it. I felt like it didn't deserve a listen, and so therefore I'm not going to put it on my list just based off that. But for those of you who don't know, this album is so bad and got such shitty reception from like universally everybody that Hobo Johnson made an album after this called Hobo Johnson Alienates His Fan Base, where he pretty much just goes, fuck everybody. What if I make good music? You're the problem. And I hate that. I hate that a lot, and I hate this album. Which is unfortunate, because there are Hobo Johnson songs that I like. Okay, I know he gets a bad rap for being corny, but there's some songs here, a lot of songs here, where corny borders inceldom, and so you're just kind of like, you know, are you being corny, or are you misogynistic and hate women? Like, I can't tell, and that's a problem. And music-wise, this is just lifeless, and it drains you. Even though it's not even that long, this is a really, really draining album to listen to, as is most of these releases. I mean, really, it zaps the energy right out of you. So essentially, to come to a conclusion, fuck Hobo Johnson. That sounded fitting to me. I don't know. At number 3, we have Welcome to the Madhouse by Tones and I. I didn't finish this album. Moving on. At number 2, we have Tramp Stamp's We Got Drunk and Made an EP. You are an industry plant. Your whole group is industry plants, and that's not to say that you're bad, but it's the fact that you are continually trying to manipulate people and steer them away from the fact that your pasts are very corporate and also racist. So maybe quit music would be my advice, is probably to quit music. Tramp Stamps. Your band is just an avalanche of bad ideas on top of each other. Like, you literally went, what if we get 3 people, 3 straight white women who all work in the music industry, and one of them has a racist background, but we all pretend like we hate men and are kind of like maybe bi-curious, maybe just a little bit, and we make an EP where we basically take all of the punk aesthetics but make it like our own, and then release music based off that. And then you vomited it onto everyone. Your ideas, you just vomited it onto us, and I spit it out. This is terrible. This is terrible music. Terrible music. Anybody who likes this kind of stuff, don't talk to me, because I can't even fathom. I can't even fathom listening to this and being like, yeah, no, this is it. This is the good shit. Go support real female art. Here's a list of better female artists that you can listen to that all make great music. All right, guys. I gotta tighten up the overalls for this one. My number 1 least favorite album of 2021 goes to Teenage Heartbreak by one Lil Huddy, in all caps with no spaces for some reason. For those of you who don't know, I was forced to listen to this album after losing a game on the podcast that I'm on, the Good Enough Podcast, and I had to write up a track-by-track review. This is awful. However, a lot of good came out of this. I know we talked about this on the podcast, but a bunch of Lil Huddy fans found the clip of me just destroying him, like just obliterating him with this review where I was just like, fuck you, I fucking relate to Margaret Thatcher over you, like, you just suck. And I went a little harsh, but they put me in like TikToks. They put me in a TikTok, a pro Lil Huddy TikTok where like they have a bunch of haters and then a clip of him crying. I'll put it up. This is the best thing. This is the best thing ever, and I am so ecstatic to say that I was a part of this. However, the actual album is dog shit. Unfortunately, it is dog shit. I'm sorry to say that, but it is pretty bad. Okay, so picture if like a white dude who works at Universal Music Group listened to the newest Green Day album and was like, "What if we did this, but made it Gen Z?" That's what this is. It just sounds like old people trying to relate to young people, but in a way that like is weirdly disrespectful to punk. I guess I wouldn't say disrespectful. I mean, that's a strong word. It just seems like you're taking the aesthetics and then leaving behind the art, and I think that's kind of fucked. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll get a Tramp Stamps Lil Huddy collab. Wouldn't that be something, man? I regret I immediately regret saying that. Are you guys ready for this? And ladies and gentlemen, my list for the top 10 albums of all time starts now with number 10, You See For Yourself by IDK. If there is one thing that I take away from IDK's release, You See For Yourself, it is that this is his cherry bomb, and his next album will be his flower boy, in my opinion. And I don't mean that in like the everybody hated it way, but I mean that in the this has a lot of potential, and if he is able to take the good out of it and really cultivate it and let it grow, I think that we're going to see something really special with this artist. First and foremost, this album flows like butter. I mean, track to track is perfect, and you know I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Second of all, I love that IDK is as emotional as he is. I love hearing those raw moments where you really get to go and take a look into his mind and what he's thinking about. And I love like the messages of wanting to have a mother in his life and needing parents in your life. And it just felt very like, learn from me. It felt like he was saying, here's my experiences, learn from this. And I love that. But even with that being said, this has bangers. I mean, Santa Monica Boulevard, like, damn. However, and there's always a however, I'm sorry, but what the fuck is the MF Doom feature, man? Like what happened here? I could be wrong, but I feel like I remember, Editing Jackson will put something up here if I'm right or not, but I feel like I remember him saying that he had a longer Doom verse and then he just cut it and left only like the 2 lines that Doom has in this entire song. Why did you do that? I don't understand why you did that. If you didn't like his verse, I would have just taken out the whole thing, because it sounds really out of place to just have Doom come in and be like, getting greedy at social media. Like, that's just weird. It's out of place, and it's out of character for him too. I also think that the song Keto could have just been done without. I don't think it added anything to the album. It just felt like a break from all the creative stuff he was doing, and more of just like a, hey, let's have fun song, which is fine, but it's like, this is a fun good song, and this is a fun bad song. There's a difference. However, like I said, there are also other great songs on here, like Cry in Church. I fucking love that song. The way it ends is just perfect. I love it. So yeah, just to wrap up this section, I am stoked. I am ecstatic to see what IDK does next, and I hope that he learns from this release, because I feel like if he does, we will see great things from him in the future. Alright, and moving on to our next release. This is going to shock some people, I feel like. But at number 9, we have Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator. I'm not going to go too full in detail here, because the night that it came out, I wrote an entire, like, massive 5-page document review that I'll link in the description on my album of the year. And my opinion on it has not changed, surprisingly enough. Like, if things had changed, I would have edited it, but really not much has. First and foremost, I just want to say that my review is very harsh. And I know that it is. But I'm harsh on purpose because Tyler and his music mean a lot to me. I mean, Wolf got me into music. Igor is one of my favorite albums of all time, as well as many, many, many other of his releases. This is definitely, in my opinion, a dip in quality from the last couple of things he's done, but this thing still fucks. I mean, it really does fuck. I mean, just looking at the track list, I mean, Corso, Lumberjack, Massa, Manifesto, Sweet / I Thought You Wanted to Dance, Rise, Juggernaut, all bangers. There are some really great tracks on here. However, I do think things like Wilshire and things like Lemonhead and What's Your Name, those two especially, really bring this down for me. Manifesto, especially, just because it was this close to being like a top 10 Tyler song. He just didn't nail the production. It just sounds gross. And I don't even mean the mixing. I mean like the production. Like, look at the great storytelling songs in hip hop from our generation. Look at things like, I mean, look at Kendrick Lamar. Let's just take Kendrick Lamar. You have Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, and you have Duckworth. Those are the 2 biggest ones that I personally love. The production on those is so memorable, and even on Duckworth, it's one of the most prominent parts of the song. I mean, it's part of the reason why I love it. There's nothing wrong with going minimalist and saying, look, I'm just going to talk over a beat, but that's not what I like. That's not what I enjoy about music. I think that if he had put more thought into the production and used that to boost the emotion he was talking about and to amplify the message, I think this could have been a phenomenal track. And also just a great way to end the album, because Safari is just a fine album closer. And I mean, I have the CD. Fishtailing isn't much better, so yeah. Fuck. I'm doing the thing again where I purposefully, not purposefully, I accidentally am too harsh on this album for no reason. I love this album. I'll say it. But it's missing, it's so, I'm just upset because it was so close to being great. It was so close to being great. We could have had more, and that's what's really getting behind my skin right now. But this is still good. Like, this is still really good. The songs in here are really good. I don't know. I'm making myself mad. We're moving on. We're moving on to number 8. All right, our first, and I think only EP on the top 10, This Thing of Ours, Volume 2 at number 8 by The Alchemist. Kind of a hot take. A lot of people usually take the first volume, I think, but I'm a big proponent that Volume 2 is far better and blew me away on a first listen. First thing first, this thing flows, and Volume 1 doesn't, so I was super happy to be like, wow, we're getting like a good transition between songs. This is fucking sick. Second of all, no Earl feature, but I'm okay with it. You know, I loved Earl's feature on Nobles. Wasn't as big of a fan of Loose Change, but the features that the Alchemist chose for this project are perfect, and they definitely fit the beats, and I love it. Okay, yeah, so when it comes to standout tracks, first of all, 6-5 Heartbeats featuring Vince Staples is a contender for my Song of the Year. I love this thing. I think that everything about it, from the fucking piano sample, oh my god, that to Vince Staples' just fucking perfect performance of this song. I mean, the way, what was the way he says things, I guess is what I'm trying to say, works wonders on this track. I love it. Loopers fucking kills his verse. I actually watched him perform this live at the JPEG Mafia concert in LA, and he brought the energy, man. He brought the energy, and he made me fall in love with the song all over again. So shout out to the Loopers. Great fit for the song. You love to see it. One note, I was not as big of a fan of the Bruiser Brigade song, Flying Spirit. Just this production, as well as the verses, to be honest, did just a light little dip, but didn't take away from the project that much, in my opinion. It might have taken it down just slightly, but I still think that even the first two tracks, Miracle Baby and Lossless, like, those both keep it from dipping too low for me. And I mean, look, I don't need to say this, but The Alchemist is one of the best producers in the game right now. He is just on a fucking win streak, and I love it. I fucking love it. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm fucking stoked to see what you do next. Alright, one more in the books, and now we have number 7. Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine by Brock Hampton. First and foremost, where's my vinyl at, man? That was a joke. When I ordered it, it said it was going to come in April of next year. I know it's coming in a couple months. All I'm saying is get it here quickly, man. I'm getting impatient. I'm going to say it. This is my second favorite Brock Hampton album behind Iridescence. I love this. First of all, Buzzcut is one of the best album intros and tone setters of the year. Like, 100% came out with the energy. The Danny Brown fucking feature is phenomenal. I love every second of this. And then to have the balls to follow it up with Chain On featuring JPEG Mafia. Come on. Other great tracks on this album include Don't Shoot Up the Party. Fucking absolute banger. What's the Occasion, in my opinion, is the most underrated song on this album. I think it's great. I love it. And I don't hear many people talking about it. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be like super popular. But I love this track. And of course, The Light and The Light Part 2 are just... They're just so perfect and gut-wrenching and vulnerable and produced well and performed well and good song. They're good. The one thing I will say about this album is that Count on Me could have been a lot better. It was just kind of meh, in my opinion. But all the other tracks make up for it in no time. So once again, just like the last project, little dip, took away from it a little bit. But in the end, we still recovered, came out with a great project. I love it. Hopefully you love it. Let me know. All right, moving on to our next pick. And this is one that I was not expecting to like this much. But number 6 is Volcanic Bird Enemy and The Voice Concern by Lil Ugly Mane. Full disclosure, the only other Lil Ugly Mane project that I've heard is Uneven Compromise, his EP, which is not like this album at all. So I was super shocked to come in and be like, wait, is he fucking singing? Like, is he singing well? What the fuck? Like, I was fully expecting to turn this on and be like, all right, where's the 10-second harsh noise segment? Like, I had to prepare myself for. But no, this was genuinely pleasurable to listen to, which is fucking awesome. I promise you this, Cold in Here will be on my most listened to songs of 2022, 120%. I have listened to this thing consistently and constantly since it came out. Cold in Here is a great track, my favorite off the album. It's just perfect. It feels cozy, which is strange for a song about wanting it to be colder in your room. Kind of, probably some deep meaning behind it that I'm missing, but whatever. Also have to mention, this album cover absolutely slaps. I mean, look at this. What's happening? Who cares? It looks cool. Some other great songs I have to mention are Stock Car, Broken Ladder, and Porcelain Slightly. All bangers, all great tracks. This is the point in my top 10 list where we're hitting what I call the no bad songs zone, where after this, no album is going to have like a bad song in it, which is fucking awesome, and I love that. So I'm stoked to have hit that. Like I said, I don't think this project has a weak point. There's no point where I'm like, yeah, this was like a dip in quality. I just think that it was consistently fucking awesome. Consistently fucking awesome album. Lil Elkie Mane with a great surprise, some great genre usage here, genre bending, I guess you'd say. And I love it. I hope you love it. Let me know down below. Once again, I'm very curious to see what you guys think about these picks. I haven't watched anyone else's top 10 videos just because I didn't want it to influence mine, what I was going to say. So genuinely, tell me what you like from this year, and tell me what you think about my picks. All right, I'm doing a thing. I've changed my mind last minute. I'm switching number 4 and number 5 around. All right, I just switched number 4 and number 5. I feel like that makes more sense for me. Fuck, okay. Number 5, LP Offline Edition by JPEG Mafia. JPEG Mafia tried to make a bad album challenge impossible moment, because this literally, like I said again, no bad songs on this. Peggy is so consistent, and this album is a testament to that. First of all, a little backstory in case you didn't know. JPEG Mafia released 2 versions of his newest album, LP. One of them went on streaming services, known as LP Online version, and the other went on Bandcamp and YouTube, known as LP Offline version. This is because of a couple of different things. First of all, samples, and second of all, I think it also had to do with the fact that he had one more album, I believe, in his record label contract. So he got that out of the way and then put out the offline edition, which is fucking awesome. I love that big fuck you to corporate music. And unsurprisingly, the offline version is just better. It just is. First of all, going down the track list, Trust, Nemo, End Credits, Hazard Duty Pay, What Kind of Rappin' Is This, Thoughts Prayer, Dikembe, I think that's how you say it, The Ghost of Ranking Something, it's cut off, I don't know what that says. So many great songs. This has been in constant rotation in my listening since it came out, which isn't that long, but still impressive nonetheless. Hazard Duty Pay might be like the best sample just ever. It's so good. It hits the spot perfectly. It does everything a sample should and could do, and I think that's beautiful. I mean, like I said, at some point, I'm at the point where I have nothing bad to say. Like, this is just, I'm just going to compliment this album more. I mean, the album cover is great. The album title's great. The song track lists are great. I still think it flows, maybe not as good as maybe a Veteran, but Veteran's a 10 in my book, so that's a tough bar to hit. It's just good, man. I don't know what else to say. It's just really fucking good. It's great, even, one would say. So check this out if you haven't. Yeah. Number 4. Okay, this is where I think people are going to be a little bit upset, because this was my number 5 pick. LP was my number 4 pick, but I swapped these last second. Number 4, Nurture by Porter Robinson. Now, for the most part, I feel like people really like this album, but there are definitely haters of this project out there, which is fucking insane to me. I just don't understand. Okay, if there is a God, everyone put your prayer hands up. Dear God, please let Porter Robinson score a video game. I think that would be the best thing ever. I think that I would literally ascend out of my seat into heaven. That would just be so fucking perfect. The piano on this album, despite it being electronic, the piano is like one of the biggest standouts, and it's so great. This guy is like C418, but if he took like a wrong turn somewhere, and I love that. I mean, literally, just going down the track list, Lifelike, Get Your Wish, Unfold, Something Comforting, Mother. These are all so good, and I'm leaving one out because Wind Tempos is not my song of the year. That's not what I'm saying. Wind Tempos is the best song off this album. It's like 6 straight minutes of just like the feeling of laying in bed and staring at your ceiling and just being like, fuck. Like, just like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm describing this right. It's literally just like 6 minutes of just being like, people who don't like this album, you owe me an explanation. You owe me a big ass explanation, and I want to hear it now. Because I don't get the hate. Like, some people fucking do not like this at all. You ever have a release like that where you hear it and you're like, people dislike this? What? Like, how can you, like, hate this? I just don't understand. What a great project, man. What a solid-ass project. And by the way, the music fits the album cover like a glove. Look at it. I mean, just look at the album cover and then listen to it and be like, yeah. I mean, pretty much, that's it. That's what's happening. God. I pissed so many people off with that. I didn't think I was going to switch those two, but it felt necessary to me. Okay, at number 3, my next pick is Cavalcade by Black MIDI, and with it comes my song of the year, Ascending Forth, the final track. I'm not going to say a lot about Black MIDI's Cavalcade, but that's not because I can't. It's because my good friend Luke On Demand made a 50-minute long video about Black MIDI and their history, and he spent a massive portion of it talking about Cavalcade. So please go watch that if you want to learn more about the genres of it and the history behind it and his thoughts, because they're basically the same as mine. So definitely go check that out. But Ascending Forth, my song of the year. This is one of the best album closers of all time. I mean, it's just 10 pure minutes of build-up, all leading to one point, and it pays off so well. It's like as if in 1 second, it's this beautiful and calm and tranquil song, and then it just goes crazy. It's like they gave the directions to everyone. They're like, yeah, right now we're gonna go fucking batshit insane. Just try to stay in tempo, and they did it. They did it so well. This is a masterpiece. This album is a masterpiece. This song is a masterpiece, and I have no problem saying that. And hopefully you don't either, because this thing really, really is good. Just so you know, my other favorite tracks off this album include John L., Slow, and Hogwash and Boulder Dash, which is like a good half of the tracks. But like I said, there are no bad songs on these albums at this point. I mean, that's just my opinion, but you would have to give a very, very convincing argument to tell me that any of these songs are bad, because holy shit, this rocks in the headphones for sure. Alright, here we have it. Top 2 albums of the year. Number 2, By the Time I Get to Phoenix by Injury Reserve. Even though this is not my album of the year, this will be the most remembered album of this year. I think in the music scene, this will be the most remembered. There is nothing like this album. The production, the emotion, the vocals, it's never been done like this before. Not once. And not even by Injury Reserve either. This is so unique that not even the group has done something like this, which is fucking unheard of. God, I'm getting so worked up about this because this is... I need people to know that this is such a moment in music history. This is, to me, this is a fucking moment. I really do think this is the start of post-rap, which is crazy because I've never been a part of something like this. I've never gotten to live through, like, a moment where we shift from the thing to the post thing, like post to, like, rock to post-rock or punk to post-punk or something like that. I've never lived through that, but I feel like I am right now. With people like Injury Reserve and Slauson Malone, I feel like we're living through a movement, which is so cool to me, man. It's so cool. I mean, Superman That, Knees, Postpartum, By Storm, Outside. These are all phenomenal tracks. There is barely anything stopping me from giving this a 10 out of 10 score. I'm not saying a lot because I barely have any 10 out of 10s. Injury Reserve, you have done it in a way that nobody else has, and I will never forget the moment this came out. I never will, because this is a statement, this is a moment, and this is a sign of things to come, hopefully. I guess only time will tell, so we'll just have to wait and see. But please, if you're watching this and you make music, listen to this and let it influence you, because this is the next thing. This is the next thing in experimental hip-hop, I promise you. I feel like I need to jog around my house to calm down. I just got myself all worked up for nothing. Here we are, my number 1 pick, but before I say it, I want to say a couple of things. If there is an album that you like or that you love that came out this year and I haven't mentioned it. That does not mean I didn't listen to it. No promises, but I might have. And if you go to my albumoftheyear.org page, it's in the description. You can go to the page that says 2021 releases, and you can see all the albums that I listened to this year and the scores that I gave them. So if you're curious about other projects that I might have heard and the scores that I gave them, check that out. It doesn't give me any money or anything. Just if you're curious, it's there. But speaking of money, my Patreon. What do you get with my Patreon, you may ask? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. First of all, early access to my content. Second of all, you get to listen to albums with me once a month that you pick. That's right, you get to vote on albums with the other patrons, and we listen to them together. And guess what? They're recorded, so you can actually go back and listen to the backlog listening parties that I do with them, which is fucking awesome. I love that. Third, you also get access to a special Discord channel in my Discord server where just you and the patrons have access to. So you have that as well. And fourth, I'm just going to announce this now. I'm going to be doing videos about my record collection on Patreon only. So Patreon exclusive. So if you want access to that, I'm going to start doing that very soon. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, after that fucking ad break, we're here. Actually, we're not quite there yet. Hi, Editing Jackson here. I just forgot to introduce the next segment, so that's what I'm going to do now. Like I said before, I want this video to be more of a conversation about the albums that we all love and enjoy this year. So I took the time to reach out to a bunch of different content creators that I know and that I love and enjoy, and asked them to make just a small little segment about what their favorite album of the year was. And that's what you're about to see now. So hopefully you enjoy seeing this as much as I did, because I love talking about music and seeing people's opinions. So yeah, sit down, watch, grab the popcorn, and enjoy the content.
Hey, my name is Nicholas Rogers. I'm a music content creator, and my favorite album of the year is Sinner Get Ready by Lingua Ignota, a masterful Appalachian folk masterwork that combines all the feelings of being in an organized religion and also the strength and terror of it.
Good day, everybody! My name is Kyle Reed. I talk about music right here on YouTube. I mostly talk about the indie rock genre and the alternative rock genre, but you guys don't care about that. You guys care about my favorite album of the year, which I think has got to be Black Country New Road for the first time. Every single time I listen to this album, I'm completely encapsulated by the music, the song structuring, the instrumentation, the passionate vocals, the storytelling. All of it comes together so nicely in this album, and I love it. I'm sorry to the Black MIDI stands, but I don't know what to tell you.
How's it going, Jackson Burns fans? It's Baz Reviews here, and I'm a YouTuber that does interviews, video essays, and music reviews, but I'm not here to talk about that today. I'm here to talk about my favorite album of 2021, which was To See the Next Part of the Dream by Paranol. It was just an incredibly gripping listen from start to finish, and most of all, it just perfects two genres, shoegaze and emo, that have been popular for the past 30 years in one album, and I think that's really what separates the men from the boys in terms of what makes an album great. It's one of the few 10 out of 10s I've given a record to, so some pretty high standards there. If you haven't checked it out, I would definitely recommend it. Thanks so much again to Jackson for having me on. Hope you guys had a safe holidays and have a happy new year. Thanks.
Hey guys, it's Rough Criminal. I'm the guy who does 10-second album reviews here on YouTube. My favorite album of the year happens to be Kanye West's Donda, and I think part of the reason is because I spent so much time working on it and making it better than it was on release. There's a video on my channel explaining further, but yeah, I think this is one of his best albums, assuming you cut out some of the filler and sequence it properly, which I've done.
This morning my uncle told me he was a Morrissey fan, and it's just a shame because ever since he's let me borrow one of his CDs, I just can't seem to find it. Hello everybody, I'm Jeremiah from the Cornballs, and my album of the year was Space 1.8 by Nala Cinefro. Prior to this album dropping, my mind was on a complete downward spiral. I mean, I had 30 albums in contention for my album of the year. What the fuck? But as soon as Space 1.8 dropped, I was pretty certain that I had my album of the year. I mean, not only is this unpredictable and so healing to listen to, but this transcends the standards of modern jazz, quite literally. This is easily my album of the year. I love this project so much, and it might actually be one of my favorite jazz projects of all time.
My album of the year is Cavalcade by Black MIDI. Black MIDI was already a band that I was a huge fan of since their debut, but with Cavalcade, this was a moment where a band managed to strike lightning in a bottle twice and made yet another masterpiece. Cavalcade is a deranged and chaotic piece of avant-prog, but at the same time it brought some incredibly meticulous instrumentation and, dare I say, a beautiful side to Black MIDI that I honestly never thought I'd ever hear from them, but alas, it happened. In my opinion, it has some of the best production, ideas, and overall execution and tracks of any project that I've heard all year, and to me Black MIDI are only just getting started with what they tried on Cavalcade. And with that in mind, I'm just very excited to hear what they do next. So yeah, Cavalcade is my album of the year.
My album of the year is To See the Next Part of the Dream by Parannoul. I am a sucker for shoegaze, but I've never heard an album in a genre that creates such deeply human emotions with its soundscapes and with its atmospheres. This album is absolutely breathtaking. It's one of the most beautiful things I've heard in years, and quite frankly, it's a masterpiece.
What's up? My name is Jake Joseph. You may know me from funny, scary music video Essay Man, A Bucket of Jake. And one of my favorite albums of 2021 is Ultra Pop by The Armed. My favorite type of new album listening experience is when I walk away loving an album I didn't know I needed. Everything from the sound combinations to the vocal stylings to the artwork for it screams I shouldn't like this. But they must have hit the nail just right with a broken hammer because I love this thing. Bro, from the title track to an iteration is literally one of the strongest 5-track kill streaks I have ever heard. It's the most abrasive, grating, and at the same time accessible record I've ever heard, personally. It truly is ultra pop. God damn, this thing's a fucking slapper. Jackson, do a clock wipe to the next guy.
Wow, what a cool clock wipe that was. Anyways, hey, it's me, Luke from Luke on Demand, here to prove to you that I am maybe the most white person maybe ever. How do I prove it to you? Well, Cavalcade by Black MIDI is my favorite album this year, so hope that convinces you. Seriously though, the pure chaos, technicality, and beauty that I get from this record is totally unmatched, and it's pretty much made Black MIDI my current favorite band at the moment. And if you don't believe me for some reason, I have an almost 50-minute long video to prove it to you. It's adventurous, captivating, other big words. I just love this record, and I don't think I'll ever get tired of it. So yeah. I don't know how to end this segment.
Thank you for that, boys. The links to all their channels and stuff will be in the description, so make sure you check that out. Just to remind myself, what time is it? It's time to get serious. It's time for the big one. The big kahuna. The album of the year. The one that made it all the way. The 10 out of 10. That's right. This is a 10 out of 10 album that I'm talking about right here. And it goes to... drum roll, please. This needs a drum roll. For the First Time by Black Country New Road. 6 songs. All killer. No filler. What else do I need to say? For the First Time is a beautiful and gorgeous blend of everything that I love about music. I mean, everything. This has something for everyone, and it's only 6 songs long. I'm just going to go track by track because there's only 6 songs, and I have something nice to say about each and every one of them, so I'm going to take that time. First of all, instrumental, the opening track. Like the title says, it's an instrumental track, and it is a great tone setter and a great opening track. I mean, immediately... you get into this slow build that leads up to this 5-minute long crescendo, and I love it. You get the saxophones and the violins and the drums, and it's perfect. I love it. Then you have Athens, France, which is just a great way to bring the lead singer into the mix after the instrumental track. And the bass. The fucking oh, I love it. I love it. It goes so well in the song. Then you have Science Fair and Sunglasses, which both take like a smoother first half approach into a crazy and chaotic second half, which I love. I love the build-up. I love the build-up of the soft start and the fucking crazy finish, as you've seen with, you know, my song of the year, Ascending Forth, and of course, Porter Robinson's album, and now this, Science Fair and Sunglasses. But then you have to bring it down a little bit. You gotta bring the energy down a little bit with track X. You gotta give it a little more of like a smoother, like sing-songy type, you know, I love it. This is how you know I'm off script. I'm rambling so much. And then you have the closer, Opus, which just sounds like a bar mitzvah gone wrong, and I love that. I love the saxophone on this. They really let him go wild, and I appreciate the hell out of that. For the First Time is one of my favorite albums of the year. It is one of my favorite albums, period, and it's also responsible for kind of dragging me into this new British post-punk scene that we're seeing emerge now. So major shout out to Black Country New Road. They have a new album coming out in February, I think. They have a couple singles out. We got Bread Song, we got Concord, we got Chaos Space Marine. They're killing it. I love to see it. Keep up the good work, boys and girls. And ladies and gentlemen, list over. There you have it. My top 10, my bottom 5, and some special awards. Hopefully this will cleanse your palate for Jackson Burr's content for now, because I have a bit of an announcement to make. You're not going to see me for a while unless you're on my Patreon, because I am working on a massive 2-part video for this channel. And the reason it's going to take so long is because I have to listen to over 30 albums, and I also really want to do this right. Both these videos are going to mean a lot to me personally, and I'm also trying something new. I'm going to try... I don't even know if I want to say. You know what? I'm not going to say, actually. I'm leaving you in the dark, but I'm gonna be doing something new. I'm gonna be trying to do something new on my channel, and I'm gonna try to do something new in the music community, because I want this video to stand out, and I want it to be something that means something to you as well, not just to me. So be patient. Connect with me on Discord. This shouldn't take over 2 months, and I'm gonna get the first part out as soon as possible. The second the first part's done, it'll get out. And then I'll start working on the second part, and then it'll get out. I don't want you to have to wait for both. I'm not going to do that to you. So you've been warned. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching my content. I appreciate it. This has been a great year for me. Hopefully it's been a great year for you. Yeah. So with that being said, hopefully I'm not seeing you too far from now. Have a great new year. Have a great holidays. I guess the holidays are over by now, probably. But hopefully you had a great holidays. And I'll see you guys next time.